Hey, what's up? Check it out. It's your boy djelf7, and today I'm going to actually talk about my experiences with Antifa.
I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
So, alright, let's take a look. Now, the thing is that nowadays Antifa is getting super bad rap. They're getting called terrorists, all this other kind of thing, and I'll be honest with you, the thing is that the way that a lot of people understand Antifa nowadays is really just a caricature, yeah, of what Antifa really is. Now, the thing is that there's quite a few people out there that are in Antifa, right? It's attracts, and one of the biggest ones, the ones that y'all are probably like focusing on, are the ones that you see at the colleges, stuff like that. You know, the young kids that are doing dumb things, you know. It happens, you know what I mean? I'm sorry if some of y'all are going to interpret like, you know, some of the protest stuff is dumb, but, you know, some of the stuff, you know, not everything that happened in the protest is smart, yeah? Even though I am sympathetic to why they're complaining and, you know, what their issues are. So let's get to the business at hand. So the thing is that Antifa people. So let's talk about how I interacted with Antifa and how that whole thing got set up. So the thing is that in my life, I've been homeless. I've had businesses, I've had money, you know what I mean? So I've been on both ends of it. But most of the things that I really remember and learn and really kind of hold with me are those times of being homeless. Those times of desperation, those times when everything was really, 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 you know, present. Everything had to be about right now. Will I have enough food to get by? You know, what's happening tonight? You know, like, am I going to be okay? Like, I got to set these things up. Everything is very present during those times. So, so the thing is that I've maintained this love for this community, this outcast community of the homeless. Yeah, and a lot of people don't really understand what it is to be homeless. Homeless has like a whole bunch of different, like, you know, also caricatures and stereotypes that are not necessarily true. I'm actually maybe even, you know, king of the. I just call myself king of change. Yeah, because I always had change on me because I was, you know, living on the streets, you know, but I did well for myself. Yeah, I did, you know, there's the people that you see, those are the ones who are usually doing okay. It's the ones who you don't see, the ones who cannot like interact with people that are hurting the most. And I know this from being on the streets, right? You go to pull up on that bridge and you see the dude, you know what I mean? And some of them are getting by, but the ones you see, the ones who you feel sorry for, other people are feeling sorry for them too, and they are, you know, making it, yeah? Some of them are, right now it's a struggle though, yeah? A lot less people are giving during these uncertain times, and that's really messing them up. I'm glad I have some other things like, you know, that I can do, you know, besides live on the street, which I'm really freaking close to. Let's get to those reasons, whatever. So I maintain the work that I do in the field, working with, you know, they call them at-risk communities. That's what the, you know, the rich people call it, you know what I mean? I just call them my brothers and sisters on the streets. I work with my brothers and sisters on the streets, and you know, sometimes I would work at these places where they would, you know, one place that I really love is places that give out food, like Salvation Army. Yeah, you know, when you're on the street, right, like you see these charities and stuff like that, right? But you know, who's actually giving this stuff out? You know, like, you know who's really doing this stuff. So much love out to Salvation Army. I've done a bunch of work with them. Maybe I'll put some links up here, yeah, so you guys can see that. Yeah. Another organization is Food Not Bombs. They will literally give food away, right? You can find out a spot, go on a regular basis, and, you know, have a spot where you can eat and not have to worry about stuff or dumpster dive. And, you know, it's really an amazing thing, yeah? So, now the thing is that if you look up the history of Food Not Bombs, you're going to see that they actually have some affiliation with anarchist organizations. Sure, whatever, who cares? You know, you're helping a brother out. You, my brothers, thank you. You're my sister, thank you so much. I really appreciate whatever you can do for me. Whatever your political leanings are, you know what I mean? As long as you have no ill will towards myself, I really appreciate it. Now, I would meet with some of these people, and guess what? Some of the people, right, some of the Antifa members that go to, you know, give food away to people that are homeless, right, will cross over with the people that go to protests, but then there's also probably a sizable chunk of them will not cross over. You get what I mean? So I'm probably also interacting with the Antifa members that are, interacting with me in a certain way. And how are you interacting with Antifa members? Is it through a TV screen where, you're only interacting with a certain subset group of Antifa members that are doing certain things, right, and hearing about certain acts? And even within that group, right, do you hear about everything they're doing, or are you only hearing about certain things they're doing, right, the most, right, outrageous, right, whatever things that, that are kind of catching your attention? What else are they doing? Do you guys know, right? So without a full concept with just the mainstream media, oh boy, yeah, we all know how much we love the mainstream media, yeah. So they are actually looking for people to scapegoat during this time, because honestly, right, they need someone to blame. It ain't the rich guy's fault, right? It ain't their fault, right? They didn't screw anything up. The politicians didn't screw up anything with policy or anything like that. It's got to be these Antifa members. It's all their fault. Sure it is, okay? Let me tell you something about some of these Antifa members. Some of them are old people, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? They're sitting at home. Some of them are not like, in shape or anything, right? They're just like maybe tending their garden. Maybe they have a couple books on anarchy, right? Yeah. Just like the concept, right? And like some of the political writings of some of the people who have been very influential throughout history and to political thought in general. So you cannot like take the contributions of anarchists or socialists, or they all have had something to say, and I don't want to say it's all trash, And there's actually I'm actually loving the fact that North Koreans right now are getting a brand new look. They're getting a lot more, attention right now, because what they're going through is inhumane, right? I will have to call you back, yeah? Call you right back. I think that's the Biden people calling me. Yeah, I told them to call me back. Look, they're willing to talk to me, I'm going to talk to them. That's how it works, yeah? I'm not too good to speak to anybody, yeah? But if you want to go to war, then, you got to understand that, the things that we talk about may not be things that you want to hear, yeah? Hey, whatever, yeah? But look, so Antifa out there, and there's some people out there that I know that are just like, the givingest, lovingest people, and they wouldn't be about the stuff that you guys see on this, that you guys are outraged by. They are also outraged by this, yeah? Remember also that Antifa, right, it's supposed to be a right, there's no leadership. It's anarchy, right? So you can have people that are from one political end of the spectrum and then another like massively different, right? Like, here's another thing, right? You could look this up for yourself, okay? So you have anarchists, right? You have street life, okay? Because anarchists are close to the street. A lot of them are super poor, yeah? And then you take these anarchists, and then what happens is that you have some of them that are just straight drugged out all the time. Like, they're messed up, right? Like, they're kind of fringe, right? Like, people that you would associate, right? But look up this thing called straight edgers, yeah? Okay? There's a whole movement within the anarchists, and there's sizable subsets do not use any drugs whatsoever, yeah? You'll also notice that if you get to know anarchists, right, or start to look them up, you'll see that a lot of them are associated with, like, vegetarianism and, animal rights kind of like has some crossover with this population, a significant crossover. There's so many groups that cross over into this group, yeah, into the anarchists, because they don't really have anything they stand for other than, being against, government oppression and intrusion into their lives. They want to just be free of it, what they consider to be oppression. And one of the things that I like about on a theoretical aspect of anarchism is, even in a democratic socialist ideal, right, which I think there are some good things about that philosophy as well, but one of the things that it doesn't really address is how does that particular system protect minorities, right? You see, like, socialists, they seem to love the minority thing, right? But once they're in power, once they sit in there for a while, right, and maybe even before they sit in power, right, you may be able to see within their organizational structures some type of a top-down approach that doesn't really, right, even though they say they're for the people, that they don't really give a voice to the people. They don't really allow people to, address their concerns and things like that, right? And also, if the majority is always winning, right, then you create a group of insiders and outsiders, yeah, and you create a group of, empowered and disempowered. So minorities can really get hurt badly as in terms of, socialist organizations. And we can see that going on right now with MPP to a certain extent. And this happens on the left all the time. So anybody who's been involved for a long time as I have has seen this happen in many organizations. Green Party people should know what I'm talking about. So Green Party, I think you guys should get involved with MPP and help your brothers and sisters along with your knowledge and experience. Yeah, they really need it badly. Yeah. Anyways, so let's head on. Let's talk about a couple more things, right? And what else about Antifa? So The thing is that, right, not all anarchists are also Antifa as well, yeah? And I think that actually one thing that I think is very interesting is the observation by Tim Pool, where he often calls these people who are Antifa as LARPers. And I think that's actually, and I don't want to, put down any of these Antifa people at all, even for a second, okay? But the ones who are, doing bad things, property destruction, that's not cool, okay? If that's just fucked up, yeah? And hurting people, I'm not down with any of that shit, okay? But let's go for, the thing is that within anarchists, right, Antifa itself is actually a subdivision of anarchists. So people are using the word Antifa and anarchists interchangeably. That's not, yeah, you have like anarchists that are straight like pacifists, right? You have a huge range. So you are, right, what are you guys even attacking? You guys don't really understand, right? You only have this caricature, right? And if you think about black folks or even police, right, yeah, often a caricature is made of black people, right? Yeah, they're, we have a simplified idea of what black people are, and then we say that's why they're bad. Isn't that true about cops too, right? Are all cops bad? What about Serpico, right? Isn't there cops out there that are fighting the good fight, right? Cops that see something wrong, say something, and then are penalized? Aren't those actually like an ideal that, a lot of us are hoping for? Yeah, right? So, there's just a lot of issues at hand that are not really being addressed, and that, anarchists leave the door open for these possibilities. So, the people that I've interacted with in the past that have been side by side with me as we gave out food to the homeless, the ones that call themselves Antifa members, much love out to you. I'm sorry that you guys are going through this time right now where you may be afraid to identify yourselves. I'm sorry, let me get back to the idea of, okay, one person that I like to watch is actually Tim Pool. I actually watch quite a few right-wing broadcasts, as they would call it, yeah? I'm just down for entertainment, however, yeah? And a lot of times these other people are deciding to classify these casts as right-wing or whatever, right? They themselves are not even, right? Sometimes they're not even defining themselves as right-wing, yeah? Which is interesting, right? So for example, the Quartering, right? The Quartering early in his career, right, or even mid in his career, was often saying that he was actually left-wing, right? But as time went on, as he underwent like ruthless attacks from people who call themselves left-wing, okay, not really left, they are part of the left-wing. I'll say that, okay, but they're not my part. Right? I have nothing to do with them, right? These kinds of attacks. I'm a fan of the Quartering. Yeah, I'm a fan of his. So, he actually associated, right, those attacks with people from progressive movements, which, whatever. Okay, I have another video about that because actually, right, there's, I'm going to talk about SJWs in a moment. That's the next video, but let's talk about this one. Okay, so the Antifa members, Tim Pool likes to call them LARPers, which stands for live action role play. And let's take a look at this, okay? Let's imagine that you're a white kid, okay, growing up in the street, yeah, maybe a suburban area. Those places can be by the way, okay, mad hood, okay? People think New York City is mad hard, tough, whatever. Listen, those spots can be just as tough, so, love out there, yeah? If New York wants to step up, then I'm in New York, let's talk, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Not trying to say you soft either, but, you know what I mean? Like, you know how it is, yeah? You in a room with some other dudes, it could go down anywhere. Anywhere it can go down. And plus, y'all know in New York, I know y'all be going out to the Poconos a lot. You be doing like all kinds of, you be going into Jersey, New York be taking the dirt everywhere too. So, the thing is that, okay, so you grow up in the suburbs, right? Yeah, or maybe like, maybe even in the city, yeah. Some of them are in the city. Okay, you're white and you're growing up, so you're poor. And you're going to school, you're not doing that great. That avenue's not really looking like it's going to work out. So you're on the streets. So, you're on the streets. You're not even necessarily a bad person. You're just on the street, right? Because the other avenues just don't look good for you. There's a group of kids that you end up hanging out with, and the black kids have their thing called Bloods and Crips and stuff, and you just don't have that available for yourself, right? You're on the street, you see them doing this stuff, and you say, you're hanging with the other dudes, right? Not even necessarily all white, right? you're hanging out with them, right? And some dude says, "Oh, let's call ourselves Antifa." It kind of sounds hardcore, and you're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Right? And then you learn other things about the organization. You go home, look it up, and you see that they're not going to jump you in. You see that that sometimes they give out food to the homeless. That makes sense to you. Your family's struggling. It might appeal to you. Yeah. So some of these members can end up in Antifa, and are they just young kids, kind of like maybe role playing, like they don't really know what Antifa is about or really what's going on in their life? Sure, yeah. And these kids, could they be maybe convinced to do something weird or strange or look at something that looks dumb? Sure. Oftentimes by people that are, and could that happen by the media? Are you kidding me? Well, that's what they want, right? They're standing at the protest, right? Here's some young impressionable kids. Hey, do something for the camera, right? Listen, there's a lot of ways that this goes down, where the truth is actually manipulated in a way that services the public usually at someone's expense. Yeah, and you're picking on There's some Antifa people, there's some anarchists that that got money, but most of them are dirt poor. Most of them are in the dirt. Yeah, you'll find them working at construction sites, day labor jobs, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They anarchists because the system never helped them in any way. So they're truly outcasts. If out of all the subgroups, maybe even hip hop included, yeah, maybe anarchists are closest to the street. Hey, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, put it in the comments below. Yeah, and by the way, okay, one more thing I want to talk about. Yeah, Michael Tracy. I like Michael Tracy. Okay. Michael Tracy, you was at the event, okay, and I know Big Talk, Little Talk, another homie that I do like, he's stressed about the way that Michael Tracy got treated, okay? Listen, man, Big Talk, Little Talk, right? You're from Colorado, that's cool, man. You've done time in the military, you're a military cat, I'm not, right, but you're not here in New York. You're not here on the street. I think that was somewhere else, yeah? I don't know where that is, but I know, in the street situation over here where I'm from, right? Mike Tracy was popping off, yeah? He's like, he's filming somebody, right? He's filming somebody. And when you're on the street, right, hanging around, some of the cats, in the hood, you got cats that's in jail or they on probation. They don't want to be on camera. You get what I mean? You thinking in one way. You thinking, right, in your net regular way. You're not thinking like the street that I'm from, right? Yeah? That cat's telling you, and that cat gave you a warning, and you popping off, you disrespecting him, and you disrespecting him in front of his boys, in front of other people, right? He may be losing credit, and he might have to deal with fights afterwards because you stepped up to him, right? He told you, you filming that, right? And he even gave you a way out. You see what I mean, right? That implies he doesn't want it. You know what I mean? A real street cat like me, that's really ready to go all the way. You know what I mean? That has real consequences. So you really want to see if this dude wants a way out, right? He said, you're gonna put a blur on that, right? All you had to do was say yes, right? Or I understand your concern, right? I'm a reporter, and this is public, I have a right to this. Yeah, you could have even tried to make a point. No, right? Michael Tracy did none of this. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, and he kind of was popping off, had a little bit of attitude, right? And the dude's like, how long do you think that situation is going to go down? It's not going to. That situation on the street will not be permitted to go on. Just right there, honestly, right, if I popped off like that, I would expect to get smacked right there, you know what I mean? And honestly, if a dude was popping off on me like that, honestly, the street rules is you and your rights to get smacked right there. Not saying that it's legal, not saying that it's good, not saying that it's cool, not saying it's something that I would do, okay? But and the street rules is you're popping off like that, right? You take a picture of somebody, right, and then they come up to you and say, you're gonna put a blur on that, or they say you can't take a picture of me, and you say, nah, I can take a picture of you, you know what I mean? You can expect shit's shit's probably about to fucking go down, you know what I mean? That situation is setting up for that. So Michael Tracy, still much love out to you, not hating, but Michael Tracy, he's not a real street cat, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? So he don't really get it like that. So a lot of y'all are mistaking the street thing, right, with this protest thing. Yeah, mixing the fucking two up, yeah? Just because you don't understand the streets. That's what I got to say about that. So Once again, love out to my Antifa and anarchist people. If any of y'all are thinking about like doing, how do the protests creating a situation for anarchy? Maybe you think so. Maybe some people out there. I don't really think it is. Yeah. So I am sympathetic to the principles that Antifa and anarchists stand on. Right. I do not stand for any violence or this type of thing, right? Or property damage. Okay, it's not cool at all. So if someone out there says Antifa thinks this or Antifa thinks that, I'm not saying it. I'm not Antifa. I do have anarchist, sympathies. I also have social sympathies and Democrat sympathies and Republican sympathies. So you could say, people want to say anarchists are one way or this way. Okay. Are they even anarchists? They don't even know, right? What do they know? They have an outsider's knowledge. So there's so much misinformation out there. I just wanted to correct this and thank you for checking out the show. My next show is in SJWs. God bless. Check it out. Subscribe, like, share. Deal. Thanks. All right, peace.
These videos are independently produced and funded, and your support is deeply appreciated. Liking the video and subscribing helps the channel, and ringing the bell icon will keep you notified as to when we upload new content. You can also check out our other social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. We also have our event calendar, links in the description. On our Reddit, you can come in and get on the conversation and check out some of the memes. Like and share, it really helps us in the YouTube algorithm. Every week on Sunday, we have a live online meeting where you can join us in working to create and nurture the change that we need. I'd like to invite you to check out some of our other videos. Until next time, may all your actions bring you success. Stay focused, stay strong, and reinvest in yourself as well as your community. Together, our efforts can be greater than the sum of the parts. The power is in your hands. Thanks for watching.